Joining us now on SSPTV News, we have a former resident of the Greater Hazleton area. We have Carl Capus with us, and he is a returning guest on the program. Carl, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Janine.
I wanted to have you on because I know that you do a lot with a foundation that not too many people would really know about, the Sanfilippo syndrome, and I know that this is near and dear to your heart. So if you can get us up to date on what the Sanfilippo syndrome is and how it's affected your family.
Yeah, so Sanfilippo is a rare and unfortunately fatal genetic disorder that my two older children have, Ryan and Braden. Ryan's 16 and Braden's 12. And essentially what it is it's the children are born without an enzyme in their body or lacking an enzyme, and it creates basically an effect on the brain, just like Alzheimer's does. So we like to call it childhood Alzheimer's. So, at the end of the day, they get plaque that builds up in their brain. It causes progressive brain damage and then ultimately death. Again, just like Alzheimer's does. So it's, something that we've, been battling for quite some time now, and we're just trying to do the best we can. We've raised a lot of funding. We've helped form a pharmaceutical company. I've climbed a bunch of mountains to raise awareness, and we actually do have something in clinical trial right now, which is nice, which is promising, but it's taking obviously longer than we all had hoped.
Mm-hmm. We've been doing stories with you, I believe, since your children were really small. So you've been fighting this battle for a very long time. So walk us through some of the challenges that you've been facing, with COVID and with really coming up with, this gene therapy.
We did a lot of golf tournaments. We did run walks. We did guest bartender events. And then in 2012, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro to raise awareness and funding. And we took all that money and we dedicated it to research, and then ultimately creating this pharmaceutical company called Abeona Therapeutics. They have to make the drug, which is really expensive. So we climbed another mountain in 2016. We did Mount Rainier. And then in 2018, we climbed Pico de Orizaba in Mexico, again, just to raise awareness and funding. And what that did is it kind of paid for every step, of the process of creating a pharmaceutical company, then paying for a drug, and then paying to get through the FDA, which is a long process as well. It's a long, arduous process of trying to, cut through red tape, do applications. And we didn't do it alone. We created the Team Sanfilippo Foundation, myself and a bunch of parents here in the United States. But we kind of joined forces with other parents around the world. There was foundations in Spain, France, Australia. There was another big one out in the Midwest. There was one in Canada. And we all kind of pulled our money together with all the individual fundraisers we were doing. And that helped create this pharmaceutical company and kind of help push through the hurdles of creating a drug and getting to the FDA. So current time now, we're more than 10 years into this. We do have a gene therapy in clinical trial, which is good. However, everything takes longer than we hope. And, in March, obviously COVID hit us, and, COVID slows everything down. So everyone's working from home, and, you got researchers doing different stuff. The FDA folks aren't working full time, and it kind of slowed everything down. And, we're just trying to get everything back up and running. So that it was a big delay for us. And the other impact that we had is, my children, Ryan and Braden, were in school, and they get a lot of therapies in school. They get occupational therapy, physical therapy, and that's stuff they need, especially for a progressive disorder. And, once they got out of school in March, we saw a pretty, steep decline. They're going to decline, but we're trying to minimize that decline. And we saw a pretty steep decline. So, luckily we got them back in school because, they need those therapies, but we relied on that. And again, that was a big impact from COVID.
I think hope is the message for all of 2020 for a variety of reasons. Of course, these rare symptoms, like Sanfilippo, but also with COVID-19, that it is good for people to go on there, see the message, and keep that hope alive, as you have done over so many years. And I'm hoping your son's well, and happy 16th birthday, Ryan, and Braden is 12, right?
That's correct. Yep.
All right, very good, Carl. Nice checking in with you. Keep us updated as the months progress.
I appreciate you, Janine. Stay safe, you and your family as well.
You too.
Today's news feature is brought to you by the Cheese Store and more in Hazleton. Stop by for prepared food specials. For more information, you can call 570-455-3425.